Hi, my name's Tom, welcome to Quick Licks Weekly, and in this lesson we're not going to be really talking about a lick per se, and more a concept. It's something I like to call bleeding harmonics, and it's something I picked up from Matthias Eklund's playing, the insane guitar player who's very well known for exploiting the Floyd Rose trem to get some insane harmonic stuff going on. Fortunately, I don't have a working trem on this guitar. I've blocked it up because I prefer the hardtails, but I still like to try and emulate his playing wherever possible when I want to get a insane sound going on. He's come up with some really interesting ways to bring out things on the guitar that I never thought possible. And something interesting he does is this, what I like to call bleeding harmonics. Now the concept's really simple. You hit a harmonic on one string, let that ring out while playing another string, and what you normally do is you hit a harmonic on one string and then you play in a similar register to the original pitch, and I'll illustrate that easier by just playing a harmonic now I'm talking about and playing what I'm talking about. So if I hit the 12th fret on the D string and play all the way up at the 19th fret on the G, if I'm in tune, this is where the harmonic note lives. And the concept is that we let this harmonic ring out and we just play on the other string. Now, the way this gives an interesting sound is, I think, best discovered when you get as nasal a guitar sound as possible. Again, by the way, this isn't a lick that you're going to want to use in all your solos. It's just an interesting effect that I've been messing around with a lot. So I like to get as nasal a sound as possible, which takes away the initial attack of the note and really brings out the harmonic a lot more. So I'm going to hit the neck pickup on this guitar. I've got the humbucker selected, and I'm going to roll off the tone control massively so we get that incredibly insane, super fuzzy sort of sounding, no attack sound. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this harmonic on the D string, and I'm just going to mess around on the G. I'm going to make sure that these are the only two strings ringing so we can get this interesting sound. It reminds me a lot of an intro to a Rage Against the Machine song, which I think is called Township Rebellion, though I may be wrong. And it can sort of give you a bit of a what's the thing I'm searching for? Ring modulator sound. And the way this sound is coming about is because obviously all our strings that are sounding, anything that gets picked up by these pickups is coming out of one jack lead, provided we've got a conventional guitar, and going straight to the amp. So if we had each string going to a different amplifier, which is a pretty cool concept in itself, then this note, the harmonic on the D, would ring out on its own, and when we played, it would almost sound like we'd hear this note sustained in one place, and then in this string we'd hear all the other improvisation totally separate. But the fact that they're being channeled through the same amplifier and thusly the same source of distortion, everything's getting messed up together. You might have heard a similar effect if you've ever tried to play two guitars through one input on an amp. I know I did this when I was first starting out and we only had one amp to share in band practice, and it sounds terrible if you both try and play at the same time because the signal is distorting, or rather the amp is distorting everything at once, and that's what gives this sort of disgusting sound, but actually can be quite stunning if you get it right. I've not really given any great examples, but if you check out Matthias's playing, he messes around with this by hitting the harmonic and then teasing notes out with his trem arm, and he gets some really interesting dissonant sounds. For example, if you listen carefully, you can hear when we tune the guitar, obviously, if we're out of tune, we get that beating sound, and it's even more obvious when we've got this nasal guitar sound. So if I play what I was playing before, we get some interesting overtones that we might not have got in our playing. Again, this isn't anything that you might, you wouldn't find it in many textbooks, and it's not anything that you essentially need to know, but if you've, maybe come up in a rut and you're playing, or you want to mess around with something or come up with some interesting new ideas, it's a cool technique to know about. I find it quite fun to use in a more ambient setting, maybe with a little less distortion, but yeah, if you like creating weird sounds with the guitar, and you all should, then maybe give it a go. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.